Hi, this is Brother Teacher. And yes, I I can beat Michael Jai White. Let me first begin with this. Most of you probably recall the video that I did rebutting the notion from Michael Jai White saying that his weight was a factor in him having the advantage of Bruce Lee. Had Bruce Lee been alive and he had been in a sparring or fighting situation with Bruce Lee, he said he could have beat Bruce Lee in an interview with Ricky Smiley. And that received a lot of backlash against him. And I responded to it. And I made the statement simply to say that weight has nothing to do with your victory in the fight per se. It doesn't mean that you don't have an advantage. But there's an advantage on both sides. The smaller individual has an advantage over the heavier person in terms of skill, speed, agility, and so forth, if they possess those qualities. And the larger person has an advantage too, of course, of weight, mass, if you will, power. But just having 100 or more pounds on a smaller individual is by no means a sign of victory before the first blow is struck. But according to Michael Jai White, that was his reality. Well, anyway, we all know that he came back later and apologized because, people were attacking him for attacking the legend, Bruce Lee. So, came out with another video supposedly clarifying his statement and saying, I attacked people's idol. And then he said, heck, Bruce Lee was my idol too. Okay. Well, when I was younger and I called Bruce Lee an idol, he was my idol. But I've never, ever had the nerve to say that I could beat Bruce Lee. Not me. Throughout my entire life, I have never even thought of me being able to beat Bruce Lee because I had that much respect for him and his studies, the time in which he came up, and his research in the martial arts and so forth, just his philosophies in general. I never will have even let that resonate in my mind, the possibility of me beating Bruce Lee. What does it mean? But I can beat Michael Jai White. I'll let you think about that for a moment. And someone might say, well, who is this guy, Brother Teacher? I have a history, too. I have a very large resume of training, as well as Michael Jai. Now, I will say this, and I've said it in time past, I give him his due respect, his propers. Michael Jai White is a very, very good martial artist. But what I also know about Michael Jai White is that he did sport karate tournaments as well. And he looked like most sport karate tournament fighters. Pretty basic. Now, some of the advantage that he had was his agility, his speed, but it's nothing different than I've ever seen and or experienced. So he did sport point karate. So how does that place him in a category above or beside Bruce Lee? How does it make him even better than myself? Now, I'm arthritic these days. I have arthritis, pretty severe. It's okay. But just generally speaking, I can beat Michael Jai White based on my experience. There's going to be a lot of people that say, oh no, that could never happen. Why? Because of his celebrity, the fact that he's appeared in many martial arts movies, of Blood and Bone and Never Back Down and the movie Spawn, and he has a television show with Tyler Perry and so forth. Does that make him a great martial artist because he has a little notoriety? I say not. But I can beat him. Now, I've said that a few times in this video already as it's been going on. Doesn't it seem to ring of ridiculous, that whole idea of who you can beat? I just use that as the title and or caption of this video to spark some thought, some food for thought. Why is it important to so many people to make those blanket statements that they can beat somebody else? Does it say something about their immaturity or lack of maturity? Or maybe even insecurity? Or the fact that, they really are jealous of another individual on some level. And when that person is not defending themselves or not capable of defending themselves, in the instance with Bruce Lee being gone all of these years, it's easy to throw all of these darts and say, I could have done this, and he wasn't this, and he wasn't that. Or because I'm not as big as you, myself respectfully. I'm not as big as Michael Jai White in terms of entertainment and popularity and so forth in the world. What makes that any credible than me saying that I can beat him? It doesn't make any sense at all. It's not important for me sitting here to say, because my ego is inflated, I can beat Michael Jai White. I only did this to spark some conversation so that we can all understand and overstand that we all are valuable, that we all have something to offer. It's not about me versus you and you versus me. It's really about the cohesiveness of our existence here on this planet, finding the things that we have in common, and stop trying to always see ourselves through a different color lens, believing that we are better than the next person. And that transcends even beyond martial arts. Why can't we just get along as a society, irrespective of who we are and where we came from or where we think we are and where we're going? I love Michael Jai White. The fact that I say that I can beat him, who knows? Maybe, maybe not. And the fact is, we probably will never know. But again, who really cares? Can you beat Michael Jai White? Can you beat Donnie Yen, Jet Li, Jackie Chan, Steven Seagal, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Benny the Jet? Anyone? At the end of the day, it's all foolishness. It really is. We need to learn how to stay in our lane, enrich our own individual lives, and try to enrich those around us, and try to build on relationships, and stop worrying about these petty things about who we can and cannot beat, who's better than us and who we're better than. And you see a lot of this in the UFC nowadays, these big egos, these overinflated heads, these egos, these people, I'm going to destroy them and so on and so forth, and they're going to know that I'm the greatest. Who cares? It's supposed to be sport. It's supposed to be honor, integrity, respect for your fellow man. If you win, it's good. You win with honor and respect and dignity. If you lose, you should lose the same, respecting the person that won for that particular day. That's it. And that's all. And it shouldn't really matter who's the best or who you can beat. The most important person for us to learn how to conquer should always be us. This is Brother Teacher. I'm out.